Welcome back to part 2 of redesigning Equestria Girls. The first video really blew up a couple of days ago, so thank you to everybody who liked that and wanted to see a part 2. So for this video, we're going to be continuing on with the other 3 main 6, which would be Pinkie Pie, Twilight Sparkle, and Applejack. I'm going to be keeping the doll and cartoon aspect in mind of their designs, so I'll try not to make it too simple to where they wouldn't be good dolls, but also not too complicated to where they couldn't be used for animation. So, starting off with Twilight, her basic design is, I think, what exemplifies most of the problems I have with the lineup. Not very vibrant, kind of washed out looking, not a lot of body diversity, and just kind of weird clothing choices. I definitely don't think they're bad necessarily, but it just seems kind of off for Twilight. And if you like the original designs, then Godspeed. I just personally found some things like the blue used for her shirt kind of weird, considering that her pony design doesn't have any blue, and she's one of the most colorful of the main 6, so I thought that they could have used her original colors just a little bit more. I do think that the leg warmers she has are an interesting concept, and I did implement that into mine. I'm referencing her dance outfit from the first movie because I think it has a really strong silhouette. I did go and rewatch the original movies, and I don't remember them being quite as strange. Not really Rainbow Rocks and Friendship Games, but the first movie, they didn't really know what to do with the concept, and they were still trying to figure stuff out, and it's kind of really obvious when you rewatch it later. I still enjoyed it, but I do think nostalgia helped a lot with that. And on that topic, her dolls are interesting. She's got stick limbs and an empty head. They can also never seem to get the color of her skin and hair right, and just overall not a very strong silhouette. But then again, I know it's not really the design itself that doesn't work for dolls, because they've got those little mini dolls for Twilight, and oh my gosh, these things are so cute! They got the proportions like just right with the leg, and look at her glasses! Her glasses are so cute! And it's not just Twilight, all of them are so cute and fix most of the problems I had with the original designs. And it wasn't even just the main 6, they even did more obscure side characters. Look at this Pinkie! And there's Adagio! And this Flecha! Well, we can't all be winners. I got tons of suggestions for Pinkie, like putting sprinkles in her hair and hair clips just everywhere and rock candy. And to all of that, I say yes. My first thoughts for Pinkie were very much Decora fashion. Just put hair clips all over the hair and give her crazy accessories and just tons of stuff. I didn't go full Decora for Pinkie because I was still taking it from the standpoint of it being a doll and for animation. And if you were taking this from an animation standpoint, I definitely couldn't put 50 million little hair clips in her hair. And while it can definitely be done with a doll, I was trying to approach it more realistically if it was something being sold by, like, Hasbro. Pinkie Pie easily took the longest out of all 3 of them because I could not figure out a pose that looked good for her. It quite literally took 3 hours to find the final one. Let's just speed up the process of figuring out the pose. And here we are at the final pose. Pinkie Pie's original design is probably one of my least favorites. I can definitely see what they were trying to go for, but man, that skirt is something else. I also did like the idea of them trying to use more blue in her design. I just think maybe a more teal blue would have looked better. The same thing that I said for Twilight can be said for Pinkie Pie's dolls. Not really any body diversity, really washed out looking, and just kind of meh. They really do remind me of those knockoff Monster High dolls that you find on, like, Amazon. But again, Pinkie Pie's minis, excellent. Show-stopping, 100%. I love the way they did her hair on the minis, it's just so good, and you couldn't really do that with the dolls that they had. The one thing her dolls have over the minis is that the minis don't have emo Pinkie. Applejack was definitely the easiest of the main 6. You know, she's a cowgirl, so draw her like a cowgirl. I made her bigger and gave her more muscle than the other 2 because, I mean, she does live on a farm. I changed the pose because it looked like she hurt her back to something that was more, well, 1950s, because the 1950s art style kind of has me in a chokehold. I gave her much longer, flowier pants than the original design because, man, they just really want to put everybody in skirts in the original. I do think Applejack is probably one of the best of the original designs, you know. She looks like a cowgirl. I like how they put the apple pattern on her boots instead of her skirt. That's a pretty good idea. I'm not really sure about the green on the top of her shirt here, or, the blue skirt. And the same thing can be said with her dolls and her minis. I also add Spike right next to Twilight, and I decided that instead of the kind of generic dog that he was in the original, I made him a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, I believe they're called. In the show, they also changed Gummy into a plush, and I decided that instead of a plush, I would turn him into a Tamagotchi. Because of course Pinky would have a Tamagotchi. Now we're going to get into the line art section, so just sit back, relax, and watch me do some line art. So moving on to coloring, I started with Pinkie Pie, and I definitely wanted to make her a lot more vibrant than she is in the show. I use a lot of blue and purple and yellow, and just kind of go wild with her silly band colors. I also did decide to give her those big nails. I'm not sure exactly what you call them, but the nails with like the big chunks of like stars and sparkles in them. I was originally going to go with a lot of darker browns for Twilight, and brown does not look very good on Twilight. And I believe it can work, but I could not get it to work for Twilight. I'll come back to Twilight in a second. Applejack came very easily to me. I knew that I definitely wanted a lot of brown in her color palette. Somebody said she looked like Dolly Parton. Did not expect that, but I'll take it. Then moving back on over to the one-horned flying purple people eater herself, I decided that maybe I should go with a kind of Victorian look for her. She's not like other girls. She dresses like she's dying of consumption. I thought it would be a good way to signify that she's not from this world, so her clothes looks a little strange and outdated. I also gave her pony pupils inside of her actual pupils to also signify that she's not from this world. I also decided to go with a much more neon look for her outfit because I thought it just looked more appealing for something like a doll or animation. Now to start the rendering process, for Pinky, since she has so much pink on her already, I decided that I should shade more with reds and yellows so she didn't just look like one big pink blob. I added a few little Easter eggs to Pinkie Pie's design, like how she has rock candy necklaces and keychains and a cheese sandwich charm. The process is about the same for Twilight. You might notice that I didn't put a direct symbol for her cutie mark anywhere, but I more instead put just some stars and things that kind of related to her cutie mark, because sticking this on there somewhere directly is a little bit too much and kind of overcomplicates the design. I did the same thing for Rainbow Dash, whose cutie mark felt a little bit too complex to put on there directly. Applejack is, again, just about the same with the shading. For the background of the sticker sheet, I definitely wanted to reference those really old Y2K sticker sheets again. I decided that I definitely wanted to have a cloud background in there. I might have a little bit of bias because of Kingdom Hearts, but in my opinion, you can never go wrong with a cloud background. I also added some blue gingham because gingham was very popular with really old 2000 sticker sheets, and I definitely wanted to implement that. As I'm recording this, I noticed that I subconsciously kind of went with a Gen 3 vibe. I just looked up some Gen 3 stickers and they kind of have that same vibe. Which is funny because I'm one of those people who has nostalgia for both generations, especially because I used to have the Pinkie Pie Birthday DS game. Comment down below if you remember the Pinkie Pie Birthday Party DS game. And that's all three of them finished up, so let's look at the final results. that is all of the main 6 done. I went into this wanting to make designs that would be more appealing as dolls, and to give some more body diversity and just some overall more fun to the original designs. And I actually really like what I came up with. I was very surprised and happy about how many people said that they grew up with Equestria girls and really liked my designs. There were some people saying that they had wished that my designs were what the dolls actually looked like, and that they wish they had these as stickers on their laptop. And I cannot tell you all how happy that makes me. If stickers are something all of you guys are genuinely interested in, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can try and make sticker sheets of both of these. And I heard a lot of you saying that you would like me to do some more of the side characters, like Princess Luna and Sunset Shimmer, and I would definitely love to do that. So if you guys have any side characters that you really want to see, definitely let me know. I've been working on something really big for October, so I'll let you guys know if there's any updates about that. And, of course, if you liked this video and you want to see more redesigns like Monster High, definitely check out my other videos, and maybe subscribe if you really like it. Thank you, and goodbye!